you know that the animals are being plagued.
Yeah, swine, bird, cowpox. All right, they say it comes from bats, this and that and that and this. Okay, and now there's a whole thing's going on with the eggs.
Yeah, purple eggs and
Purple
shit.
eggs.
Right? The chickens are dying from some type of virus. The fish are jacked up too.
Yes.
They ain't even really talking about that.
Yeah.
How the fish they don't even want to be in the water.
Yeah.
Yeah. Not just in Ohio, worldwide, fish are beaching themselves. They're jumping out of the waters
Harlem
because
shaking about the water.
the water is supposed to have a particular pH balance. And when certain fish are overfished or not doing their role within the waters, it throws off the pH levels and oxygen levels, and fish just they commit suicide. Mm-hmm. Fish are high off cocaine. How do you have a high fish?
Yeah.
What have you done, you so-called white people, with your rulership? This is why we say the earth needs new management. Go ahead.
Oh, well, that's a little more on this.
Okay.
A little bit more. It says the word moraine, much like the word pestilence, did not refer to a specific disease, but rather was an umbrella term for what we now recognize as a number of different diseases with high morbidity and mortality, such as rinderpest. It says erysipelas, foot and mouth disease, anthrax, and streptococcus infections. Some of these livestock diseases could also affect humans. So we're seeing all this type of stuff now.
All this talk from the animal. Yeah.
Right. The term moraine is also referred to an epidemic of such a disease. There were major sheep and cattle moraines in Europe during the 14th century, which combined with the Little Ice Age resulted in the Great Famine of 1315, weakening the population of Europe before the onset of the Black Death, which we all know ushered in the time of the Renaissance period. Right?
I found it elsewhere.
Proverbs 3:33. The curse of the Lord is in the house of the wicked, but he blesseth the habitation of the just.
Man. That's beautiful, because when you read down in like what the other Yariala just read, when you read down in that same chapter, it tells you that none of the cattle of the Israelites was plagued. Only the Egyptians' cattle was plagued.
Right.
You know, so that lets us know that in the time of tribulation,
We're gonna be good.
we're gonna be good. The Lord's gonna make sure that we're squared away and safe.
There was a blackout in ancient Egypt. This blackout's coming in this Egypt.
We had lights because we was in Goshen.
Right.
Egypt was plagued.
Right.
Yeah.
We had lights while Egypt was in darkness, man.
Same thing in the Split Sea.
Yeah.
When the chariot came down and the side of the Egyptians was dark.
Yeah.
But then the chariot had that light beam on Jake to see.
Yeah.
Same thing.
Right. Yep.
I got a precept. This is the book of Isaiah, chapter 42, verse 14, and I'm going to read down to verse 16. And it says, I have a long time holding my peace. I have been still and refrained myself. Now will I cry like a travailing woman. I will destroy and devour at once. Just as it was reminiscent to what we're going into in ancient Egypt. All right, verse 15. I will make waste mountains and hills and dry up all their herbs. And I will make the rivers islands, and I will dry up the pools. Again, going into plagues. Things that we've been used to seeing, drinking water, going to the grocery store. All these things are going to be taken away here very soon.
And it said rivers. Now, in ancient Egypt, you had the Nile River. In modern Egypt, you have the Mississippi River. And that was very important to Egypt, as the Mississippi River is important to America. And America's Mississippi River is dried up. The thing that just happened in Ohio, the toxins could possibly spill over into the Mississippi River. So even again, okay, we're in the modern day Egypt. Go ahead.
Come. Verse 16, Isaiah 42 and 16. And I will bring the blind by a way that they know not. This blind that it's talking about is Israel. As we were going into the examples of the Exodus, Jake didn't know they didn't know they was going to cross over the Red Sea at that time. You know, we went into it, it was darkness in Egypt, but it was light where we was at. So the Lord made a way happen, and he had to do it in a miraculous way to show forth that he stands with us. All right?
It also showing you that Jake had to walk by faith, not by sight.
That's right. That's right.
That's why when you read the whole account, if you keep reading, they didn't know, but they could easily project death. Through the whole situation, they could have projected death. The same way in this Egypt, when everything get cranked up, we can easily project death. But we got a choice. You gonna have faith, you gonna walk by faith and not by sight and learn from the scriptures, or you gonna just project the worst. You know, go ahead.
Beautiful. Back in verse 16. And I will bring the blind by a way that they knew not. I will lead them in paths that they have not known. I will make darkness light before them, and crooked things straight. These things will I do unto them and not forsake them.
That's happening now through the word. That's the spiritual part of it. Oh,
That's right.
I got one. Second Ezra 6 and 16. It says, and why? Because the speech of these things trembleth and is moved. Speech alone of the words of the Most High is making things happen in the earth, bro.
That's right.
Just the speech alone is why this is going on. It says, and why? Because the speech of these things trembleth and is moved, for it knoweth that the end of these things must be changed.
There you go. There you go. The mere word. That's what led to the plagues in Egypt. Moses and Aaron speaking those things into existence. He would say, go tell Pharaoh this. If he don't listen, this is going to happen. Okay? And as Pharaoh didn't listen, his heart was hardened, the plagues came. And that's what's happening here in America all over again. All of these things are happening. It's getting significantly worse. All right? And it has to happen. It's getting significantly worse so that we can be delivered out of this place. We got to speak the very end into existence. So that means we're going to have to lose particular comforts because we live in modern day Egypt. So as it crumbles, but guess what? Our value rises as men of the Lord. The more this place goes down, man. So don't fear. Like, believe in what is written in the Holy Scriptures, man. And it's going to require belief. Okay? You got something? Are you finished? Let's go back there.
I'm finished on 2 verses. Second Ezra 15 and 11. But I will bring them with a mighty hand and a stretched out arm, and smite Egypt with plagues as before, and will destroy all the land thereof.
I will smite Egypt with plagues as before. Somebody want to speak on it?
Yeah, hey, look, let me say this. When you go back and read the accounts, and you just like really read it, you're like, dang, that happened? And you go from plague to plague to plague to plague, like the firstborns dying. Could you imagine us waking up and all the firstborns all around just dead, and they hit the news, everybody confused? Why? Because one thing you got to do when you go back and read that account of the plagues, you have to ask yourself, is Yahweh Shem Shai going to allow that judgment in that time to outdo this judgment? No. So that lets you know we got a lot more. Those plagues are going to get very hardcore, man. And it's going to bring about faith because we've been talking about it. Everybody else, they're going to be panicking. You know, my servants shall eat, they shall be hungry. My servants shall have joy of heart, they shall have vexation of heart. You know, it's going to flip. That's what happened.
It says, verse 12, Egypt shall mourn, and the foundation of it shall be smitten with the plague and punishment that the Most High shall bring upon it.
Right. Jump to verse 59.
And those plagues are going to come in different types of ways, man. It's going to come with famine, sword, actual pestilence and disease, water supply, you know, a war, all right, economic upheaval. All of these things are going to be a part of the plagues that touch this place, man. That's right. All right. This place is going to be thrown. When I say this place, I'm talking about America.
Yep.
All right.
Yep.
This is that modern Egypt that's set to be plagued by the Heavenly Father.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
What you got, Champ?
Finish. Read 59.
59. Yo, second Ezra 15 and 59.
Revelation 11.
Thou as unhappy shalt come through the sea and receive plagues again.
Again.
Said it twice.
Right. In the sea this time, because we'll get Exodus 15 and 1. The sea that time was Pharaoh being drowned in water. But the sea this time is going to be the lake of fire. As we'll show you. Go ahead.
This is Deuteronomy chapter 30, verse 7. It says, and the Lord thy power will put all these curses upon thine enemies, and on them that hate thee, which persecuted thee. And thou shalt return and obey the voice of the Lord, and do all his commandments which I have commanded thee this day. So everything we read, we can read about in Deuteronomy, the 28th chapter, that was going to befall us because of disobedience. Once we're turned back into obedience, which is what's happening now, those curses are going to be put upon our enemies, man.